We are 15 minutes away from hearing from the injured Aaron Rodgers. Did something to his ankle apparently today at training camp. Sure, it's not that big a deal, but everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then can we do ourselves a favor? There's one aspect of the acquisition of Aaron Rodgers that's going to drive me bonkers before we get to opening day against the Buffalo Bills. I'm just begging, I'm asking, I'm pleading with you. Can we make an agreement right now that we stop what has already begun today? I do not care if Zach Wilson completed a pass. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today,
Remember,
kid?
Zach's in the process of making Aaron Rodgers' life hell.
Like every one of the beat reporters, they're just doing their job. It's not their fault. Oh, he got into a tight window today to Garrett Wilson. Oh, he looks so good today. His arm strength is all. His accuracy. Shut up.
Yeah, because we thought we were going to do that with Aaron Rodgers, and instead he had an ankle issue and he barely practiced. That is you got to admit, it's a little concerning. I mean, you got to admit
I'm not concerned about it one bit. It's not even Memorial Day yet.
I get it. Calendar-wise, I'm not worried, but here's what I would be worried about. And this is a reminder. Met fans know about this. Yankee fans know about this. When you acquire guys who are old or have an injury history, you can't act surprised when they show they're old or get hurt. So I agree with you that a May 23rd injury is not my concern, Craig. I want to make that very clear. But Aaron Rodgers is almost 40 years old. Aaron Rodgers had an injury. It was a thumb issue that affected his play a year ago.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder that as enamored as I am with him and as enamored as most of us are with him, and I'm glad the Jets got him, let's not forget this can happen. Like, what the hell did he do to even injure his ankle, Craig? Walk across a football field?
He tweaked an ankle.
Doing
it's
what?
May 20th. What are we talking about?
Doing what, Craig?
I have no idea.
That's the problem.
I don't know what he did.
That's the problem.
But I'm not all that worried about it. He was getting no treatment. He's not wearing a brace. The medical staff wasn't even paying attention to him.
You did not hear my point. That's okay. I'm not concerned about this injury.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
We're good on that. We're together.
All right, good.
But it's a reminder that when you're 39, 40, injuries can happen, and that's the thing that could derail all of this.
Being so nervous over there.
A little bit, yeah.
Beat Mr. We're the team to beat in the AFC. The guy's got a weak ankle, and all of a sudden we're all panicking. And we're talking about how great Zach Wilson looks.
It's not panicking. Ooh. It's a reminder that he's old.
Shush.
It's just a reminder, and you can close your eyes and ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got him. I'm thrilled they got him. I'm still really excited for the season, but it's just a reminder that, this guy walks the wrong way, injures his ankle.
Evan, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being obstinate. Maybe it's on me.
What?
Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. Maybe I need a mental health thing.
Here we go again.
I don't know what was that little eye roll for over there? Huh? What was that eye roll for?
Well, we've been trying to do the load management thing here. We have a plan. We got to stick to that plan, Craigie.
Did you come into work on Friday? Did you take Friday off so that you could be fake honored in Bethpage High School?
No, I was not fake honored.
Fake honored.
No.
Fake honored.
They put me in the Hall of Fame.
Is that right?
Yes. Did you see the plaque?
It's not the same.
Exactly. No, I agree
So
with
what does
you.
that mean? What are you accusing me
They
of?
took it down when you left.
No, they not to my knowledge. They didn't.
To my knowledge, because I talked to them.
It looked like a 9-year-old painted a plaque and hung it up there, and it's possible you made the plaque yourself.
Are you insinuating?
There's a 50-50 shot. You made a plaque and brought it up. That's I don't want to open the show with the fact that you got fooled into thinking you made it into the Bethpage High School Hall of Fame when you didn't. I mean, I was also told it was the worst speech they've ever had for career day. You drove everybody away from radio. Good job career-wise for you, though. No competition. Keep your job. In any event, I can't do it.
Can't do what?
Like I don't think I have it in me to do an everyday update on Zach Wilson looked great today. Aaron Rodgers stubbed a toe today. Like, it's May. Can we wait till August? I'm with you. I'll do it with you every day in August.
You don't see,
I can't do it in May, but I can't.
You don't see how, and I'm so happy they got him. I can't make this more clear to you. But you don't see how it could be just like a tiny bit of a warning sign, like a tiny bit?
No,
like
I don't.
An itsy-bitsy bit?
Because I don't even know what he did to hurt it.
No, exactly. What the hell did he do to injure his ankle, Craig?
I mean, maybe he stepped in a divot. Maybe he stepped on a ball. I don't know. I don't care. He's fine. He spent the whole day talking to Nathaniel Hackett. I'm just glad he's here. Lamar Jackson's not at minicamp right now.
Right.
My guy is.
Yeah, no, I'm glad he's here. He's friends
My
with the
guy
guys.
is.
I hear he's breaking down Broadway shows with C.J. Uzama like he's one of the guys. And that's awesome. Aaron Rodgers, since he's been acquired, has done everything that he didn't do, or at least he was accused of not doing at the end of his Green Bay tenure. He's one of the guys.
Yes.
He's hanging out. He's going to basketball games.
Crazy.
He's talking about Broadway shows. He's one of the dudes.
He's living the life of a New Jersey rock star. And I think it's great. And I think it's great that he's there. And I don't care how good Zach Wilson might have looked today. He's not my quarterback.
Well, he may be if Aaron's not healthy.
And when I play golf with Robert Saleh in a couple weeks, which I'm doing, I'm going to remind him for 18 holes and 5.5 hours. Stop it.
Stop what?
Stop telling me how great Zach Wilson's going to be. He did it again today.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to reach his potential. I can see it.
Well, because
he's
just in
zipping the
case,
ball all over the field. Whoa.
just in case Aaron Rodgers has to miss a week or two or more, they're preparing us for, don't worry, we trust Zach Wilson. That's what they're doing. I don't buy it either, Craig, but that's what they're doing.
It's exactly what they're doing. And it's crazy talk. Like, come on. Haven't we seen enough? Oh, yeah.
Well, why is he here then? Why is he even here?
Because there's no reason to let him go contractually.
Get a better backup then. I agree with you. He shouldn't be here, but you got to remember there is a chance, and I hope it's not a good chance, but there's a chance a backup quarterback's going to have to play at some point this season, which means all of these meaningless throws in May, which I agree I don't care about. He may actually have to make throws in October, and if that's the case...
Well, that's the case, and I'll tell you something else. I put it out on Twitter today, and I believe it. Aaron Rodgers is we're going to hear Aaron Rodgers today in about 6 or 7 minutes, live from Florham Park. I can tell you right now, and I know it's going to be a silly thing to say, Week 1 against Buffalo's must win. I'm telling you right now.
Why is that?
There will be Armageddon in this town if the New York Jets lose to a division rival Week 1 NFL. You know it, and I know it.
Wow.
I'm not saying that'll dictate making the playoffs or not. It will be bad.
Well, we're New York City. If the Yankees lose the game, it's Armageddon. So,
Yes.
if we lose Week 1 of the NFL season after all the hype of the offseason, there'll be panic for 6 days.
No. If the Yankees lose a game, isn't that losing 23 games? Well, I forgot how you guys did that.
No, you got it backwards.
The reverse math on
right.
that.
It's like the Yankees having a 12-game losing streak if the Jets lose Week 1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm happy Aaron Rodgers is here. I do not want to hear about Zach Wilson ever again. I don't. If he's a starting quarterback, I'll think about him. Until he's a starting quarterback, I don't want to hear about him ever again. All right? Can we agree on that?
No.
And I'm not worried that Aaron Rodgers might have a gimpy ankle in the third week of May.
It's not about the date. It's about can he stay healthy and play 17 games for this team.
Well, listen, the one thing I know about Aaron Rodgers in his career is that he's always available. That guy doesn't get hurt.
I agree with you. And again, this was completely worth the risk. I stand by that. I stand by everything the Jets did in acquiring him. But at some point, father time or mother time?
Father.
Grandpa time will catch up with you.
No, it's father time.
Father time will catch up with you.
Time ain't got a grandfather.
The biggest concern that you have to have with Aaron Rodgers, and I have this going in, is he's older. We don't know when it's all going to end. And you can close your eyes and say, it's May 23rd. Calm down. No big deal.
I'm not worried
no
about
one's concerned about this particular injury.
I'm with you on both things you said.
It's more about,
I'm not worried.
This is the thing that can derail the New York Jets. It's the same thing. And by the way, Craig, it's the same thing with the Mets. You know going in, Justin Verlander is almost 40, or is 40.
That's right.
You know going in, Max Scherzer is 39.
Correct.
And you know that either it may just all go south because of age, or they may not stay healthy.
Yeah.
So if it happens, we can't be surprised.
No.
Doesn't mean it wasn't worth it. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
But let's not be naive about it.
Yeah. Now, but by the way, I am with you on both things you're saying. We're not worried about this particular situation.
Not worried about this
because we
injury.
know he's not legitimately hurt. He'd play right now if he had to.
Yeah.
And I get the sensitivity to the fact that he's 40 years old in a violent man's sport. There's a better likelihood that he gets hurt because he's 40 years old.
Craig,
I get it.
Craig. It's similar
But
to
I
what
ain't worried about it.
It's similar to what happened to Jacob deGrom in February. Right out of the gate, he has an injury with Texas. Every Met fan's mocking it.
Right.
If Justin Verlander at 40 years old is getting ready in February, and all of a sudden there's a minor setback, like there was on opening day,
right?
What's our natural reaction? Our natural reaction is, well, yeah, he's 40 years old. This is part of the risk. So for Aaron Rodgers to have any kind of tweak of his ankle this early on when he does his first thing with the Jets, it's only natural to have that reaction.
By the way, we pushed Aaron Rodgers back to 2:30. Tommy said it fit our scheduling better. So at 2:30 today, Aaron Rodgers will be on the Fan live from Florham Park. You know why it's pushed back 15 minutes, Ev?
Yeah, because he needs treatment on his ankle. What are we talking about?
They're rubbing Ben Gay on his ankle right now. And they don't want it to smell too bad when he steps in front of the cameras. And someone goes to him, can I take a look at your ankle?
What did he do to injure his ankle?
Who knows?
That doesn't concern you at all?
I'm not worried about it one little bit. Guy's Superman. He doesn't miss games. You put a brace on it, you shoot it up, and you get your ass out there and play football. I am not worried about it one bit. There is one thing I'm worried about today, though.
What's that?
That's bothering me. It's one of these silly sports debates that I try to avoid at all costs because they bother me.
You're above that, Craig.
It's not that I'm above it. I'm bored by it.
Yeah, because you don't like sports.
Perhaps. I'll take full ownership of that. The vitriol on both sides of this, and to be fair, I've heard both sides of the argument. Mm-hmm. So I respect the fact that there are people that make very cogent points on the yes side and people making very cogent points on the no side. Right. Respectful of both sides. I have a side as well, but I don't care. And I got to put it out there because I believe it's driving a wedge between the very people that work at this radio station with you and I.
Really?
Yes.
Is the wedge between us or are we on the same side?
No. To be fair, you don't have a real dog in the fight, but you're going to have an opinion on it.
Gotcha.
All right?
Gotcha.
Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
It's driving people crazy about whether or not to retire the number 7. It's driving people bonkers. And I want to be clear, not only would I retire it, it's going to be retired.
It's one thing to have a discussion on if his number should be retired.
Yeah.
But I've heard from Knicks fans who are like pissed at the idea of his number being retired.
I don't get that.
To where my guy Sal said he would stop being a Knicks fan if they retired his number.
Love Sal. That's obviously not accurate. He's not going to stop being a Knicks fan because they put the number 7 in the rafters.
No.
I guess he just got emotional, was making an exaggerated point, and I get it. We all do it from time to time, right?
Sure.
Like you're not going to stop rooting for a team because they retired a guy's jersey.
Though I did hear Boomer and Gio a year ago say if the Knicks had signed Melo, they were going to become Net fans.
Oh, stop!
So there's a hatred. There is a hatred from some Knicks fans around here for Carmelo Anthony. It's one thing for him not to be your guy. Totally get that.
By the way, and that's fine.
Totally get that.
But the notion of, the organization's going to embarrass itself, I'm never going to root for them again, is number one of the dumbest things I've heard. Number two, it's not well-founded.
Right.
Now, did they win as much as we wanted them to win? Obviously, they did not. He's got one playoff series win against the Boston Celtics in that 154-win year in which he was great. Same year he won the scoring title. Name another Knick that's won a scoring title in the last 40 years. I'll wait.
Well, did Bernard King win a scoring title?
I'm going to continue to wait for the last time in 40 years.
I got to do math right now. Hold on.
Someone not named Carmelo Anthony won a scoring title here. And was it an overall disappointment? In a way it was because they did not have the postseason success we all dreamt of. But I will tell you this, and it's unequivocal, that you can very easily go Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier, Earl the Pearl, Bernard King, who, by the way, was the Knick for all 3.5 years, Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony. He is a signature Knick. He is one of the great players to ever play for the New York Knicks franchise. And we don't retire numbers solely based on postseason success.
Right.
I know he's not the all-time leading scorer. I get all that. I get all the negatives that people want to put out there about Carmelo Anthony. But Carmelo Anthony is the greatest basketball player, in my opinion, this franchise has had since Patrick Ewing, and it's not close. He represented hope. Unfortunately, he didn't deliver on it at the level we wanted. But the notion that he is not one of the great Knicks of all time is ridiculous.
The other thing that boggles my mind is for years and years and years, there's been this fantasy about acquiring stars, about bringing guys to Madison Square Garden. It really started with LeBron, maybe even a little bit before that. And the one superstar that wanted to be here, that pushed his way here, was Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was going to be traded to the New Jersey Nets. It was done. And you know why it didn't happen? Because Carmelo Anthony didn't want to be a New Jersey Net. He wanted to be a New York Knick. I know that full well. And if you're a Knick fan, you got to at least like that part. Yeah. Now, yes,
and that's obviously not why you retired the jersey.
No, but that's an aspect.
Name the last superstar that wanted to be here and got here.
The retired number thing is such a subjective thing. Like, what's the hold on what number should be retired and what shouldn't? I just don't understand the hatred for him. But one quick thing about retired numbers that boggled my mind, and I apologize for never thinking about this till last night.
Go ahead.
So I'm watching the Denver Nuggets complete the sweep of the LA Lakers.
I know you're going.
And I'm thinking about Melo because I even mentioned it yesterday. Boy, the timing of this was so weird. Melo's announcing his retirement as the team he was sort of most known for is about to go to its first NBA Finals. And I'm watching Nikola Jokic, who is a superstar. And we all knew this for a few years, but now he's doing it on the highest level.
Sure.
And he's going to an NBA Final. And I'm looking at Nikola Jokic, and it just hit me out of nowhere. I'm like, he's wearing number 15.
Yep, they gave it away.
That was Melo's number. And for all the discussion we're having in New York about retiring 7, I think it's an easier decision for the Denver Nuggets, who won 17 games the year they drafted him and then won 43 and made the playoffs.
Yep.
And LeBron was there in the first row. If you don't believe him, ask him. He went to Melo's first playoff game. How they would so quickly not only hand the number out, but now it's gone to a guy who's far succeeded.
And by the way,
Melo.
not just that, he took them to the Western Conference Finals, which is as far as that franchise up until this year has ever gotten.
Dude, is that not mind-boggling to you?
Yeah.
And I apologize for never really putting that 2 and 2 together, but last night I'm sitting there and it hit me. Yep. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And now they're not going to retire 15 because they're going to retire it for Jokic.
Right. And look, Nikola Jokic will go down. It's already done. It's done. He will go down in Nugget history as a better Nugget because they're in the NBA Finals.
He's going to go down as the greatest Nugget of all time.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
So when we talk about retired numbers, at least the Knicks have held off giving up 7 to anybody. The Nuggets couldn't wait to hand out 15.
Yeah, now to be fair, the Knicks went, what we say, about 20 years without giving away 30.
Yes.
And obviously Julius Randle wears 30 now. And I've had discussions with senior executives at Madison Square Garden. They will never, is too strong a word because, life changes, right?
Right.
They will never retire Bernard King's number.
May I ask you a question?
Yep.
Because obviously I speak for, I'd say, half our audience.
And by the way, Bernard King is good with the Garden. He's at every playoff game, invited guests, the whole bit.
I speak for, depending on how the age demographic of us right now in this moment. I'm almost 40. I didn't see Bernard King play. I'll be the first to tell you.
And he's my favorite player of all time.
And I respect that. Now, so what I base Bernard King's history on is what I've read about him, the videos I've seen, but I did not see him. So that needs to be thrown out immediately. Yep. I know that. Yep. And the thing that's always jumped out at me about him is while he was a great player and won a scoring title for the Knicks and they won a playoff series in 7 and he had some great playoff moments, he was a star for the Knicks for, let's say, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Is that the issue, that it just wasn't long enough?
Yes.
Okay, I respect that.
Yep. He didn't play enough games.
Because that's always been my critique. Again, not seeing him, just knowing how successful he was, it was such a short period of time. It's not Don Mattingly. Like, Don Mattingly was great, but it was for a 5-year period.
I'll give it to you this way. Bernard King played 200 games for the New York Knicks.
Right.
200.
No, I get you.
All right, that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. Now, obviously, when you look at, what he did in those 200 games, we, frankly, had never seen anything like it since the early 70s.
Right.
Right, that when we had great scores on this team, et cetera, and won championships. He represented that for us, and there's a generation of guys my age and a little bit younger where Bernard King was our everything.
Right.
Like Bernard King outside Madison Square Garden with the actual King's crown on the front page of Sports Illustrated was like our savior.
Right.
Bernard
I
King.
get that.
Yeah, that Bernard King. The guy that was drafted by the Nets. The guy that went to Golden State. We got him in 1982.
Right.
That's our guy.
No, I get that.
And Bernard King wasn't a Knick by 1987.
Well,
And he was hurt, and obviously had other issues.
The real question we have, though, besides Melo and Bernard King, and I'm so ashamed that you haven't brought it up.
No.
What do you think I'm going to say?
No, I don't know. Just say something you think is funny, and it's not going to be funny.
No. I'm speaking for you when I say this.
I don't know that you are.
I disagree, but I want to speak for many Knicks fans since I've been told how beautiful this was. How come you guys are retiring 17 for Jeremy Lin?
No. They won an Emmy. The documentary on Lin won an Emmy.
That was the greatest 2 weeks in the history of New York basketball. Like, we should put 17 in the rafters, Craig. By the way, you know what's funny? If I put a poll out there and said, who would you rather see the number retired of? I'd have to clean up the way I just worded that.
Yeah.
17 for Lin or 7 for Melo. There'd be a decent amount of Knicks fans. Like Boomer would be on Twitter saying, Lin.
There are. Listen. There are a group of Knicks fans over the age of 50 that do not like Carmelo Anthony. Most of them are white. All right, and there is a thought that Carmelo Anthony poisoned Kristaps Porzingis. There's the thought, which is accurate, that he didn't like the Jeremy Lin stuff. I know for a fact that's accurate. But Carmelo Anthony, and again, I'll be repetitive all day. If you don't want to retire it, that's fine. But the vitriol I'm hearing and the craziness I'm hearing about, I'll renounce my fandom.
That's crazy.
I'll burn my jerseys. I'll root for a different franchise. Why? Carmelo Anthony is the best player to put on a pair of sneakers and play at Madison Square Garden in a long time. A long time. Now, you want to tell me it was Amari's team when he got here? Okay, fine. I mean, I can accept that.
Yeah, a good burst, no doubt.
I accept that.
Yeah.
But Carmelo Anthony represents something we did not have for a long time and have not had for a long time.
And selfishly, I'm being 100% selfish when I say this. I really hope the Knicks retire his number because, I
want to watch people follow through on the threat.
Because
it's like when people go, if so-and-so gets elected, I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah, you're not.
You're not going to Canada, and you're not going to stop being a Knicks fan.
I really want that number retired because you know I'm right about this. That will be one of the hottest tickets at Madison Square Garden in years.
And I'll be there.
I'm sure you will.
I'll be there sitting right next to James Dolan, my main man, enjoying the moment as we honor one of the great Knicks of all time.
Will you tear up when it happens?
Nah, I'm not a crier. You know that. Although I cried when my daughter graduated college.
Well,
but Evan, I didn't cry when she was born.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. It got me.
Right.
All of a sudden, Mickey Carton, uncontrollable.
Uncontrollable tears.
I was snot bubbling my face off.
Look at you.
And I was trying to play it off like, is it hot in here? Someone sprayed pepper spray towards me, I think, honey.
Good for you.
I know, crying like for 2 seconds. But I couldn't stop it.
No, I don't blame you, though.
I gotta be honest. Didn't see it coming. I'm not a crier. I've cried like twice in my entire life.
When my oldest son graduated kindergarten, I cried like a baby, too.
Oh, come on.
I did.
He stacked blocks good.
It doesn't matter. It was, you know what it was?
I didn't cry at any of that.
It was a sign of, oh, my God, my kids are getting old.
I don't cry at high school graduations. I don't cry at bar mitzvahs. I don't cry at weddings. I cried at college graduation. I think out of pure financial happiness.
That's what it was.
I think that's what it was. All right, let's do this. We got a choice here to make, boys. We're about to hear from Aaron Rodgers live from Florham Park. We are being now told that it is a strained calf, not an ankle. It is considered minor as of now, and the anticipation is that, back full on any day. And there's no pressure.
Isn't a strained calf the same injury that's kept Mets catcher Omar Narvaez out for like the last month?
A lot different when you're in that squat position.
I understand.
Yeah, so again, not a big deal at all. It's not getting crazy about it.
May I ask how he did this, though, again?
Well, we're going to hear from him in a few seconds.
Like, what the hell did he do?
We're going to find out momentarily. So what do you want to take a break and then come back and hear from Aaron Rodgers? Or you want to just go right through? You could be the boss for the day, Big Mac. What do you want to do?
Oh, you want me to be the boss for the day?
Okay, here's Peter in Staten Island. Peter, you're on the fan. How you doing, pal?
My man, Pots and Pans. How you guys doing?
What's up, kid?
Listen, I mean, I love the Knicks wholeheartedly, and I see where you're coming from, where Carmelo Anthony's success was like the only bright spot in the 2000s for the Knicks.
Yeah.
But to get his number retired without any real, like, winning one playoff series isn't deemed success anywhere. So it kind of lowers the standards for retiring somebody's number, especially in New York. And I feel like he was great. We had a lot of fun with him, but it's actually funny that Evan related that to Jeremy Lin's little 2-week stunt,
Right.
because that's kind of what it's kind of what it feels like now. Like, yes, we had him for a much longer period, but the level of success that we had him for felt like that same 2-week period.
You know why?
Jeremy.
Where you make a lot of sense on this, and this is sort of how I felt about the Mets when the Mets started saying, "Hey, we're going to retire numbers," and they kind of changed the bar by retiring Jerry Kuzman and eventually Keith Hernandez. If you look at the numbers that are in the rafters right now,
There's only 9 of them, I think. It's either 8 or 9.
Outside of Ewing, who I think we all agree is like that exception,
Yeah.
it's guys who won NBA titles here. Walt Frazier won an NBA title here. Earl Monroe won an NBA title here.
Yes.
Willis Reed won an NBA title here.
Yeah.
Dave DeBusschere won an NBA title here. Bill Bradley won an NBA title here.
Yep.
There's no one from the 90s Knicks outside of Patrick that has had his number retired. So just based on the criteria the Garden has set up, much like this was my point with the Mets. My point was, hey, they're only retiring Hall of Famers numbers.
Right.
That's the bar they had.
That's
so
fine.
I wasn't anti-Jerry Kuzman. I said, hey, they set a really high bar.
Right.
I don't want to change that. And that's why I was, and listen, I was like the only one saying it. Everyone else was like, this is great. They're honoring their history. And that's fine. But the Mets had a specific bar. The Knicks bar has been very high.
Yes.
And
I mean,
so,
for example, Bernard King's not in.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, the last number to be retired is Patrick Ewing's.
Right. And I think we'd all agree that despite not winning an NBA championship, they did get to the 7th game of the NBA Finals, and he was the clear face of one of the best eras of Knick basketball without winning a title. So if they retired Melo's number or if they retired Bernard King's number, let's be honest, they're changing their criteria. That's what they'd be doing.
Yes, and maybe that's the reason. I mean, look, I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, you could make an argument that if you get into the NBA Hall of Fame and your career, although short here, is most notified by what you did as a Knick, not as a Net, not as a Warrior, right, to be fair with Bernard. But you say, well, you only played 3 years here, really, and he missed an entire year with the knee. He didn't play long enough to be our Hall of Famer, but we respect the fact he's in the NBA's Hall of Fame, which is a career accomplishment, not a franchise accomplishment. I understand the thinking behind it.
Right.
It's very easy also for me to say, dude, anyone that's played here long enough to be associated with the Knicks who's in the Hall of Fame should have their number retired. But that might not be justice.
No, and also like the Yankees, who are the proudest of franchises here in New York.
I think they've overdone a lot of the recent retirings.
And you know what? They changed their bar too, because Don Mattingly's not a Hall of Famer and he won nothing. And I don't mean that in some kind of douchey way. That's the reality. Yet I think we all agree Donnie deserved his number retired.
By the way, Carmelo Anthony, even if you don't believe on merit, he deserves to have the number 7 retired. I'm good with it. You could have you're entitled, obviously, to have that opinion. Like I said, you can make a very good argument against it. But why do you care? Right?
Well,
why would it bother you so much?
Craig, that's the thing. This whole issue of retiring a number or not, whatever. The thing I can't wrap my head around is that there are Knick fans that hate him. There are Knick fans that talk about him in such a Carmelo Anthony way. And that's the thing I can't relate to. Because here's a guy, and don't blame him for Donnie Walsh and James Dolan making a trade. Now, you want to say, but he could have held out. He could have gotten a free agency. Come on, it's not the Knicks' it's not Melo's fault that James Dolan said, hey, throw in Timothy Mozgov, or that a first-round pick turned into Jamal Murray.
Nick's Muse is one of the great Twitter files for Knick fans. I think whoever Nick's Muse is does a great job with Knick stuff. Put out the video today of Melo's first night in the Garden.
It was electric.
Come on.